The Aramaic and Palestinian Targum, we're reading Leviticus chapter 8, which is part of the Torah portion called Vayakra, to serve. And the Lord spake with Moshe, saying, Bring near Aaron, who is afar off on account of the work of the calf, and take the vestments that I commanded thee, and the oil of consecration, and the bullock, and the 2 rams, with the basket of unleavened breads, and let all the congregation gather together at the gate of the tabernacle of ordinance. And Moshe did as the Lord commanded, and the congregation assembled on the 23rd of the days of the month of Adar, at the gate of the tabernacle of ordinance. And Moshe said to the congregation, This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded to be done. And Moshe took Aaron and his sons, and washed them in water, and he set in order upon him the vestment, and girded him with the girdle, and clothed him with the mantle robe, and put upon him the ephod, and bound him with the band of the ephod, and ordained him therein. And he set the breastplate upon him, and ordered in the breastplate the Uriah and the Tamir. And he put the mitre upon his head, and set upon the mitre over his forehead the plate of gold, the diadem of holiness, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the oil of consecration, and anointed the tabernacle, and sanctified it. And he sprinkled upon the altar 7 times, and sanctified the altar and all its vessels, and the laver, and its foundation to sanctify them. And he poured of the oil of consecration upon Aaron's head, and anointed him, after he had invested him, to sanctify him. And Moshe brought near Aaron and his sons, and clothed them with vestments, and girdled them with girdles, and decked them with the mitres, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And he brought the bullock for the sin offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their right hands on the head of the bullock for their sin offering. And Moshe killed the bullock. And Moshe took the blood, and put it upon the horns of the altar round about with his finger, and anointed the altar, to experiate it from all double-mindedness, constraint, and force, from the thoughts of his heart. Should any one of his princes, of the sons of Israel, have taken his separation from his brethren by violence, and brought it for the work of the tabernacle, or at least any one was found among the children of Israel, who had it not in his heart to bring for the work, but heard the voice of the crier, and was constrained, and brought without willingness. Therefore cleansed he it with the blood of the bullock, and poured the rest of the blood at the foot of the altar, and sanctified it, to make atonement thereon. And he took all the fat that was on the inwards, and the colour of the liver, and the 2 kidneys with their fat. And Moshe burnt them at the altar. But the bullock and the skin, and his flesh, and his offal, he burnt in fire without the camp, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And he took the ram for the burnt offering, and Aaron and his sons laid their right hand upon the head of the ram, and he killed the ram. And Moshe sprinkled the blood upon the altar round about. And he divided the ram after its parts. And Moshe burned the head, and its parts, and the fat, and the inwards, and the feet he washed with water. And Moshe burnt the ram at the altar, a burnt sacrifice to be received with acceptance, an oblation before the Lord, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And he brought the 2nd ram, the ram of completion, which completed all. Aaron and his sons laid their hand upon the head of the ram, and he killed the ram, And Moshe took of its blood, and put it upon the extremity of Aaron's ear, the middle cartridge of the right ear, and upon the middle joint of his right foot. And he brought the sons of Aaron, and Moshe put of the blood upon the middle cartridge of their right ears, and upon the middle joint of their right feet. And Moshe poured out all the remaining blood upon the altar round about. And he took the fat and the tail, and all the fat which was upon the inwards, and the caul of the liver, and the 2 kidneys and their fat, and the right shoulder. And from the basket of unleavened cakes which was before the Lord, he took 1 unleavened cake of bread mixed with oil, and 1 wafer, and put it upon the fat, and upon the right shoulder, and laid the whole in order upon Aaron's hands, and upon the hands of his sons. And he lifted them up in evolution before the Lord. And Moshe took them from off their hands, and burnt them upon the altar with the burnt sacrifice. A completing or offering were they to complete all, to be received with acceptance before the Lord. And he took the breast and uplifted it, an oblation before the Lord, of an oblation ram, that was the separation portion of Moshe, as the Lord commanded Moshe. And Moshe took the consecrating oil and of the blood which was upon the altar, and sprinkled upon Aaron and upon his vestments, and on his sons and on their vestments with him, and sanctified Aaron and his vestments, and his sons and their vestments with him. And Moshe said to Aaron and to his sons, boil the flesh of the oblation in pots at the door of the tabernacle of ordinance, and there you shall eat it with the bread which is in the basket of oblation, according to the precept which was spoken. And Aaron and his sons shall eat it. And what remaineth of the flesh and of the bread you shall burn with fire. And from the door of the tabernacle you shall not go forth 7 days, until the day of your consecration be completed. Because in 7 days is the tabernacle set up and taken in pieces, and your oblation be offered. So he did, and ordained the order of the oblations on that day. Likewise the Lord hath commanded to be done by you after the days of consecration, to make atonement for you. And at the door of the tabernacle of ordinance you shall reside day and night for 7 days, and watch the vigils of the word of the Lord, that you may not die. For thus it hath been commanded. And Aaron and his sons did all the things which the Lord had commanded by the hand of Moshe. Blessed be his name.